Given the opportunity, I guess I'd like to ask, how proud of Ravi Ashwin will you be, and how great will the circuit be when he single-handedly secures the IPL title via multiple Mancads?
Yeah, I'll be having a chat to him about that. That'll be the first thing that I do. Because he wasn't in our squad last year. He's one of our players that we traded for to bring into the squad this year. Look, he's a terrific bowler. He's done a great job in IPL for a long period of time now. But I must admit, watching that last season, was it, or the season before? I know as soon as it happened and he did that, I actually sat our boys down and said, look, I know he's done it, and there'll be a few others around the tournament that'll think about doing it as well, but that's not going to be the way that we play our cricket.
To be honest, I am a serial sort of a run-out guy, the non-striker, and I started at the age of 12 because I couldn't take the batsman taking those extra yards.
I think it's a clash of beliefs between two strong individuals who have very strong opinions on a controversial topic.
The last IPL was 18 months ago. Yet, ahead of this IPL, one of the biggest stories was a dismissal in a match between two teams that didn't even make the playoffs. And when the tournament began, it took our Ashwin just 3 games to be involved in another mankading incident, and he sent out a warning to all batsmen that he would not be backing down from his stance. So seriously, what's the deal with non-striker runouts in cricket being so controversial? To really understand this debate, you have to be introduced to this old chap. Though that introduction can be a bit tricky, because see, even cricket's lawmakers have struggled to actually define what the spirit of cricket is. The preamble to the MCC's Code of Laws says respect and fairness are central to the spirit of cricket. But then it also says to accept the umpire's decision, which is all rather confusing because the umpires can only apply the laws of the game, not this nebulous idea of its spirit. Anyway, the idea of this grand old scepter stems from cricket's history as a gentleman's pastime, a game played by an honour code rather than a set of rules, which no one had the time to write with all the scarf tying and top hat adjusting that had to be done. And so, anytime a player attempts something that is not strictly covered in the game's rules, whether it's hostile tactics, underarm bowling, refusing to walk, falsely claiming catches, or even switch hitting, the spirit of cricket emerges to chastise them. But no debate has raged longer than the one on running out the non-striker when he's backing up too far. It was way back in 1947 when India legend Vinu Mankad ran out Australia batsman Bill Brown when he was stealing yards at the non-striker's end. What Mankad did was allowed by the laws of the game, but the Australian press lambasted him for behaving contrary to its spirit and even named the dismissal after him, something his family fights against to this day. Even after Don Bradman, Australia's captain in that game, defended Mankad in his autobiography, pointing out the batsman was the one taking an advantage by leaving his crease early, the spirit of cricket defenders were not satisfied. When Keemo Paul won a key match in the 2016 Under-19 World Cup with a non-striker run-out, the backlash he got was so scathing, it drove him to tears. And the next year, the MCC actually reworded the law on the dismissal, stating explicitly that the onus was on the non-striker to stay in his crease and going as far as to call it unfair play if he should leave early. But when Ashwin ran out Jos Buttler 2 years later, there was still enough ambiguity in the law for the debate to reopen. The law currently states that the non-striker must stay in his crease till the bowler is expected to release the ball. Now, is this when you expect the bowler to release the ball? Or is this? Or this? You see the problem here? And sure enough, Buttler and his defender's argument was that Ashwin went past the point of being expected to deliver and then went back to effect the run out.
I think there's a quote in it that says expected to release the ball, and I'm sure that's quite a grey area. So, and actually, if you look back at it, I was probably in my ground when the ball would expect it to be released.
But I think that in the replays it clearly shows that Ashwin's back foot has landed, he's about to deliver the ball, and yet Buttler is still in the crease.
Now after that incident, Ashwin received all sorts of criticism, but he only doubled down on his actions.
It is there within the rules of the game. I don't know where the understanding of spirit of the game comes, because quite naturally if it's there in the rules, it's there.
And a whole year and a half later, Ashwin is still debating the point with his new coach and he's still putting batsmen on notice. Since then, there have been all sorts of suggestions, from defining the law better to having run penalties for the batsmen backing up to the third umpire monitoring batsmen staying in their crease. It seems inevitable that whatever the law ends up being, this old poltergeist will keep popping up, transmitting from the days of gentlemen a code of ethics that no one has yet defined.